Hey everybody, it's Jason, and we are heading down to southern Chester County to check out a property that we have been working on for years. Not only is there a lot of really neat features here, but the property itself and the history of it is really unique. Let's go check it out. It's our goal to help people design, build, and maintain their outdoor living spaces. Keep building your outdoor dreams. I am down here in southern Chester County at just a really neat property. It's a horse farm that we've just done a ton of work at. It all started with them moving here. They had a pond in Exton, needed a place for their fish. I stopped out, they have a gazebo, and they wanted to install a pond around the gazebo. After that pond was installed, that has since led to landscaping, some fountains, some other patio and wall work. This is just a real neat property, and I can't wait to show you around. Let me first tell you about the pond. There was a lot of goals with the pond. We wanted it to be very natural looking. This is a farm setting, horse farm, just looks incredible here. We just wanted everything to blend in with the landscape. Not look like a pond was put here, but look like it had always been here. The way that we were going to accomplish that is by installing a wetland filter. So instead of the water coming out of one area, we wanted that to spread out and come up through the plants. That filter up top is what's going to keep the pond clear. It's what's going to break down all the fish waste and organic matter and all those kinds of things. We then have that water tumbling down out of that wetland and into the pond. Water's being aerated, it's traveling along the stream, over the rocks, again, for the most natural look possible. When we came out to design this originally, we had our challenges. One of the big challenges was the amount of water that's going to run off the driveway. So we wanted it close to the driveway, but we had to put enough distance between that everything would still grade away. Right now, I'm standing on the bridge. So after the water falls into the pond, it's pretty neat that you're able to interact with the fish and see the fish swim back and forth. Remember, their fish came from another location, and they wanted to make sure that they had a really neat home for their fish. Instead of them having a skimmer box that they had to clean out, we wanted to just use a waterfall that would flow out of the pond and down into the basin. Again, we were trying to keep it low maintenance and looking very natural. Once we got all that done, we had the bridge coming across. We installed a patio on this side that you're able to interact with a really neat big boulder, as well as the gazebo for a sitting area and a fish feeding area. This bridge is just awesome. It is very difficult to find bridges this size and this flat made out of a Pennsylvania bluestone that you can install over top of ponds. So this is just one really unique bridge. This bluestone bridge though was meant to blend right into the patio. I really like the flat stones that some fish feeding, some interacting areas that allow you to get up close with the fish. Once the pond was in, Becky and her landscape team came in here and have just done a ton of work and a great job with all the plants and the landscaping, making everything look really, really nice and unique, but still blending in to the atmosphere. Here's something that our team loves to do. In order to make your rocks look natural, sometimes you got to work with multiple rocks in order to build up. If you take and you plant in between and allow the ground cover to grow over one rock and onto the next, you can't really tell where one rock stops and the next one starts. That is just a really neat tip that I would recommend all the time. Three of my favorite plants are right here on the edge of this pond. One is the bald cypress. The bald cypress is a tree that just loves water, so much so that we have it planted right in the pond. They are deciduous, they lose their needles in the winter. I just absolutely love them. I think they are so cool and so natural looking. And you know, when you're maybe canoeing down the stream and you see those rocks and there's plants and tree trunks growing up alongside of them, it just makes it look so natural. So That is just one really awesome tree. This hibiscus is just really neat. The reason I like this hibiscus is because it gets this really huge red flower. They are just really neat looking and they bloom a lot. This thing is budded up. I can just count the amount of buds that are on here right now. This thing is getting ready to start blooming and it gets this really neat big red flower. Another one that I really like is the lotus. Got to be a little bit careful with them. They can be invasive. You may want to keep them into a pot or at least keep them contained, but they are just so neat. Again, they get those really big blooms. Look at the size of these lotus pads on here and how big they get. And it never gets old putting water on them and just watching the water just wick right off of them. You can't make it wet. So they're just a really neat plant. Literally 3 of my favorite plants are like right here on this edge of the pond. Again, is a really nice backdrop. So another really cool feature to add to any landscape is a fountain. This property has one here. It has a really nice bench to sit on right next to the fountain. We also like to install the lowest maintenance fountains as we can. By installing a fountain that has gravel and the pump house underneath, the gravel acts as the filter and it recirculates through that gravel. The pump is underneath, so it stops the pump from being clogged like it will in your traditional fountains where the pump is just sitting inside of a bowl. It's a natural stone material which just really fits into any landscape. You know, new construction is a lot of fun, but there's just something a little bit different when you're working at a house that's a little bit older. This house was built in 1861, and it used to be an inn. They came out of the city and they would use it as a summer home. And when you're working on those kinds of properties, a lot of the time, some of your plant material is way more established just for a really nice and natural setting. Yes, we have a lot of established plants behind me, but some of the trees around here are incredible. My favorite part about my job is the day that we get done, it only gets better from there. And this plant material is filling in. These beds are very well maintained, very filled in. They not only have a lot of your trees and shrubs and established material like that, but they also have a lot of perennials and annuals that will just give it a lot of pop. And when you mix those two, you can't beat it. So I really enjoy being down here and our team likes working down here. It's just so quiet and peaceful. It's so nice during the day, but it is also really incredible at night when everything just lights up. And in a future video, I'll show you that.
If you would like to start building your outdoor dreams today, contact Turpin Landscape Design Build.